In the high school, they're implementing freshman academies and the block scheduling. The freshman academies will be just the freshman class, and they'll be focused on picking out one of the pathways they want to go on. So that's something where they can choose to do like the business marketing and IT pathway. They can choose to do a medical field pathway, and I always forget the third one. But scheduling will be 4 90-minute blocks a day with an 18-minute advisory, and every student will get to have a lunch, which is something that now students can't have 8 classes in a lunch, so that's a little bit different. And it'll be an A-B schedule, so one day they'll have like 4 classes, and then the next day they'll have the other 4 classes. So, and they want to implement that, and then it also extends the school day by roughly like 20 minutes. I think in some cases, like for students who are really active and are involved in a lot of stuff, that having 4 classes a day will give them a little bit of like relaxed time, because they have 2 nights to do some work, especially kids who are like in AP or advanced courses. In one way, I think there's a lot of positives to block scheduling for students, but on the other side, I think that because it's a quick change, that I think we're kind of rushing into that change of block scheduling, that there's this real negative too, that at least for 1 year, maybe 2 or 3 years, that's going to still be there until teachers and students all are kind of transitioned into that change of a daily schedule. Yeah.
So the academies that we're seeing, I guess they're changing to 4 academies at every school, where there's a freshman academy and then 3 other more career-specific academies for the sophomores through seniors. So it's based on a model that's been used in Nashville and then in other places throughout the nation. And I don't know a ton about like the research behind it, but I do know that what they think, and they would be like the administrators, the higher ups, that this will help prepare students more for the career field and different like technical programs and college programs. Well, I think that it could be really good for them, especially block scheduling, because in the classroom you can get much more accomplished with less of that transition time that you're kind of losing time when they come in and at the beginning of class and at the end of class. So having 4 classes a day would really cut down on that and help the education process. But I don't know about performance, because with freshmen, like I teach, 90 minutes is a long time. Even 45 minutes is a long time. So it's going to be a change, especially. They're not giving us a lot of work time, like one day in the summer and then our teacher days. Just being able to wrap our heads around it and bounce ideas off of each other, especially when you're going to be working with a team of people that you may not have worked with ever before. More time to collaborate would be more beneficial then.
So when I came into high school, I thought I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I love to write, and so I thought I was going to do something with that, like doing English or somebody's baby. And like actually being in high school, I realized that I loved science, and I hated science until freshman year of biology. And if I would have had to do academies, I definitely would not have chosen, because now I want to go into the medical field, and I never would have chosen that.
I'm not going to be here next year, but I think like if I were in cheer shoes or in a senior, I would not be a fan of this. Like short term, I think it's going to be like really hectic in the first year, especially like things are just going to like not work out well. But I think in the long run it could help, like maybe get some of the like kids that are like more college bound to go to different schools like Franklin or whatever, Oak Creek.
I think that the classes are going to be too long, because already they're long and teachers can already fit a full lesson into class and there's still time left over. So I think they'll just be too long to focus on one subject. Yeah, I have a couple that are going to. They don't like it because class is long enough as it is.
I think it'll affect the students because the academies could become specialized, which means they could almost be like, from my perception, it almost could be like a magnet school system. And then are they going to be able to go to the school nearest to their home? For one thing, is every school going to fit the needs of every student? some kids are geared for college, which I know the block scheduling I think would be more what a college schedule's like. They're not there yet. They're still younger. They're not ready for that. They're coming out of every day is the same, first hour, second hour, they're coming out of a middle school curriculum where they need to blend into a high school curriculum. They'll gear for college when they get there, because I think college probably has more of an entry level gearing system anyway. Let high school be high school. I don't think it needs to pay for the way at 110%, especially ninth grade. Ninth grade's too soon to be in high school for me anyway.
I think we talked a little bit about it as far as the funding goes. My concern is that they're going to get into this program, it's going to be federally funded, and then all of a sudden they're going to pull the rug out. We won't have the funding. Then what do we do with that structure? The state, do we pick up the slack? So that was my concern, is that they're going to get all this set up, and then all of a sudden it's back to the states, and our taxes will go up and stuff because we have to pick up the slack then. Setting up this structure of this with all the extra people that you'll need to get it going, and then all of a sudden we won't have funding for them, and the people that they brought in, the lower level jobs that we thought were great, are going to go away, and all the upper level jobs will still be there, and we're not getting anything for our money then.
Well, the students would be affected because if there's all of a sudden money for aids and assistance and special programs and fundings for the kids to do, and if that does go away midstream, then they're directly affected.
What I do know is that the block scheduling is going to allow the kids to have longer class periods and almost kind of back to the modular scheduling that I had when I was at Hurl. I'm not really sure how it'll affect the students, but I think it'll be beneficial for them to have that ability to be in their classes longer instead of just having short classes every single day and then switching semesters and stuff. I think that'll give them more opportunity to ask questions and possibly get some of their work done in classroom time. Negative feedback, but I do know I have heard from students that have had negative feedback to that. They don't, they don't like change, and they don't want to spend a longer period of time in their math and English class and whatnot, but it could be very beneficial, I think, for them. I haven't talked to any teachers about that specifically, so I don't know. I would hope that it would give them more opportunity to explain things and to work with some of the students that maybe don't get it as much or that are falling behind in class, that they can work with those students and have more time for them instead of having them come after school or during their lunch or whatever.
Block scheduling, when I was teaching high school, we moved to block scheduling, and so we had 90-minute classes, and it was not on an AB schedule. And I personally thought that students really benefited from the 90 minutes because in a 55-minute class, you spend 10 minutes dealing with sort of the beginning and the end, and then you spend maybe a half an hour on the subject, and you can never really go in depth. So this allows you as a teacher and along with your students to really dig into a subject. If you were an early adopter and really liked new ideas and new ways of doing things, then you loved it and you kind of went along with it. If you weren't an early adopter, and you can be an early adopter when you're out teaching for 2 years or after you've been teaching for 30, so it doesn't really matter your age. If you weren't an early adopter, you struggled because you wanted to resist the system for some time. Teachers who want to cover a lot of material, like really, really fast and just cover everything, it won't work.